Welcome back to the Stevens Group podcast, where we talk strategy, growth, and how to build a business that actually lasts. Today, we're shifting gears into marketing because let's be honest, you could be the best real estate professional in the world, but if no one sees you, it doesn't matter. Joining me is Alan Stern with Persona Marketing Services. Alan is a visionary entrepreneur, a dynamic speaker, and someone who's been teaching small business owners and sales professionals how to master DIY social media marketing, enhanced by the power of artificial intelligence. He's also the creator of the HEAT method: humor, education, adding value, and trust. A framework that's designed to move businesses from marketing dependence to marketing dominance. Alan, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So what made you decide to start focusing on helping small businesses take control of their own marketing?
Yeah, it's a great question. To oversimplify it, my professional career has consisted of me owning a DJ company for about 20 years and selling cars for about 13. Unrelated fields outside of the fact that I had to learn how to get good at marketing at the individual level. So here's what I found. Salespeople, we're a team of one a lot of times. We're production-based, but we're often too small for a marketing agency to work with. So I'm a firm believer that when the whole world zigs, huge opportunity to zag. In this case, every marketing agency under the sun is selling done-for-you retainer marketing services, which means there's a huge market for do-it-yourself. I didn't see anybody that was doing it, so I figured why not be the guy that teaches it?
Why do you feel that so many small entrepreneurs or investors or small business owners struggle with this type of marketing?
Well, they just don't know where to start. The reality is, even if you get a marketing degree in school, you go to school for 4, 6, 8, 10 years for it. The reality is it doesn't teach how to do it at the individual level. And I'm a firm believer, this is legitimately the reason why I named my company Persona Marketing. Before people buy from a brand, they buy from a person who represents a brand. The challenge is whether you own the business or you're doing it yourself. If you outsource it to an agency, it loses the nimbleness and it uses the intimacy. So if you know how to connect the dots and do it yourself, it's just that much more effective.
So you talk a lot about the HEAT method.
Yep.
And walk us through the HEAT method and why those 4 elements.
Yeah, at a very simple level, what it is it is a social media content strategy that builds a personal brand that does the selling for you. It consists of 4 parts: humor, education, adding value, and trust. And when you mix all 4 of those in your content, what happens is people begin to like you on a personal level, but they also respect you on a business level. So what I've found, especially if you're somebody who goes to a lot of networking events, is you will literally have the ability to meet somebody in person one time, connect with them on social media, and based off of what you post, they warm up to you over time.
What do you think that most professionals overlook?
Well, they overlook the human touch.
Yeah.
So here's the reality. I get hired all the time to speak on AI workshops. And the reality is AI is the most trending topic in the world right now, and for good reason. The thing, though, is the machine is going to outspeed you. It will outsmart you. It may even outskill you. But what it won't do is it won't outconnect you. And again, before people buy from a brand, they buy from the person who represents the brand. So you, in essence, are the brand.
So how does that humor component help build that trust?
Yeah, would it be helpful if I give a tactical example of all of these?
Okay.
Cool. So again, HEAT method: humor, education, adding value, trust. You mix all 4 of those. You can meet somebody in person one time, connect with them on social media. They warm up to you over time. So it's real simple. It's all about meeting our audience where they are. And in this case, I'm talking about social media marketing. So the audience is there so that they can be entertained. So think of it like this. If the audience is there to be entertained, and us is the salesperson or the business owner is there to sell and promote, massive disconnect. But we can bridge that gap through humor. So I'll give you an example of this. Envision a picture of a burning dumpster fire. I think we can all agree that a dumpster fire is an analogy for something that's really bad that happened. So you can take a meme and turn it into an advertisement by adding a caption over that dumpster fire that says how it feels when you sell your home below market value. And now what you've just done is you've turned entertainment into an advertisement. So the idea here is you can blend it, But it's not about selling. It's about opening the door to a relationship where somebody may see that and they say, you know what? Business aside, this person seems cool. Business aside, I'd go and have a beer with this guy. I may not need his service now, but if I did, I'd at least give him a shot. So it's about creating a connection right there, but you can also use it for advertising. And if you think about it, if you share a meme with an advertising message, somebody just passed along your business card, but they did it in a cool way. So that's the humor. The problem is if we just do humor, people start to say, dude, are you a comedian or can you actually help me?
Yeah.
And in the world of business, we exchange money to solve problems. So the idea is when we blend in education, we're no longer viewed as a salesperson. We're viewed as a resource. When you are a resource, people want to pick your brain. When they pick your brain, you've just now generated a lead, but you've done so by being able to solve a problem. So to give an example on this is, let's say that I just pounced on somebody that I knew was going to be moving and they need a realtor. How's that approach going to work? It's not going to work. But if I use education, it becomes their idea to engage. If I post content or I do a workshop that says, here's 5 things that you need to know to boost the value of your home without breaking the bank, you might find that interesting. And what I've done is I've earned your trust in the process by delivering value. Because when you sell rapport, you sell, you break rapport, but when you educate, you build it. So does all of that make sense right there? Absolutely.
I talk with my agents all the time about finding a problem and then let's find a solution for those problems. We're solution providers. That's what we should be out there on the street looking for. Who has a problem? Let's worry about fixing their solution. Are they a tenant that's looking for their first home? Let's educate them on the process, lead them down the path.
Yep.
If there's someone that needs to sell a house, maybe it's an estate sale, something like that. Maybe they're a business that's thriving and they need more space. Okay, we need a bigger retail space, or we need more office space, or something like that. So that's how I like to come to it, right? And I love your method here. A lot of things. So the big buzzwords obviously are AI in today's world of marketing. How would a small business use AI right now?
Yeah, and I'll even piggyback on what we just mentioned before. So if all of that makes sense and you're like, hey, I would like to use humor in my marketing, but I'm not funny.
Yeah.
That's a common concern. The reality is AI can be hilarious. So let's say that you wanted to use this for memes. You can go on ChatGPT and type in, give me 10 meme ideas for a real estate agent to use to convey the message of now is the perfect time to sell your home. So you get the idea from the machine and then you make it your own. Same thing when it comes to education. You can ask it for helpful tips and tricks, helpful rule of thumbs. That way you can brand yourself as the trusted resource. And you can do that really without banging your head against the wall trying to figure out what to post. So what's interesting is, would you rather that I go a little bit deeper on the heat method with the other 2 components, or would you rather me give some tactics on how to use AI? What would make the most sense?
Both.
So we talked about humor. This is going to be a very content-rich episode, by the way. So if you're enjoying this, the idea here is when you put humor and education together, your audience starts to say, this person's cool, I would enjoy working with them, but all jokes aside, they can help me. So have you read the book Ninja Selling?
Yes.
One of my favorite books.
Love it.
And it talks about there's only 2 ways to add value. Adding value is part 3 of the heat method. And those 2 ways to add value are you either solve a problem or you make somebody feel good. All of which we just mentioned. So right there on its own adds value. But here's how you can stay top of mind without spending any money. When you introduce something of value to somebody, they associate that value with you. So in essence, you can introduce all of these things, whether it be hacks, credit card reward programs, recipes, podcasts, documentaries, vacation ideas, ChatGPT prompts, whatever it is. When you introduce something of value to somebody, you become the source of it, which means you carve out all of these little sublets of mental real estate in somebody's brain. Give you an example. I have a DJ company. I have a Friday night residency at a restaurant that allows me to play very upscale, loungy music that a lot of people like but aren't familiar with. So what do? I record every single mix that I play there. And in the event that somebody's jamming out and they like it, and I give that to them and they listen to it, who do you think they think of? Allowing me to be top of mind in a cool way without spending any money. Yeah. The essence here, though, is free value creates trust. And we do business with those who we know, like, and trust. Nobody can sell you better than a satisfied customer. So by collecting and repurposing reviews, you basically build your business, but without bragging. Mm-hmm. So you mix all four of those into your marketing strategy. And again, you can meet somebody one time, connect with them on social media, and they warm up to you over time. So on the tactical side, you had asked me to go a little bit deeper on AI, right? So would you prefer, for an example, that I keep it real estate focused? Would you like me to do a different industry? What would you prefer?
Let's do real estate.
Real estate. Okay. Would you prefer me to do an agent or investor?
Let's do an investor.
Let's do an investor. Okay. So what area do you think I should use as an example for an investor?
Northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Cool. So if we exchange money to solve problems, what I can do is I can use ChatGPT as my thinking partner. I can use it as my market research company. And what I can do is I can say, what are 5 problems that would cause somebody to consider doing a real estate investment in the northwest suburbs of Chicago? Why is the problem important? Again, because we exchange money to solve problems. So now I have a problem that might cause somebody to do blank. But I can have dialogue with ChatGPT and I can build on it. I can then say, give me an audience that is most likely to experience each of the problems that are listed above. And now I have an audience and a pain point. So I can hone in my messaging. Now, I'm just curious. Do you happen to have a newsletter or a blog or anything that is set up?
Well, I just started using a newsletter through LinkedIn that I learned about through you.
Okay. Hey, seriously, great job taking action on it. And here's the reason why I bring that up. Pre-AI, according to Orbit Media, it used to take, on average, almost 4 hours to write a blog post.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, who has that kind of time?
I used to spend weeks doing my own newsletters on a monthly basis and took a lot of time and energy.
It's maddening. It really is. So I'm going to show you a quick hack. And this might be the most valuable thing that you learn on this podcast today. And it is called the APE format. Audience, problem, explanation. And if we feed ChatGPT a prompt in that order that looks something like this, create an article to blank audience who may be experiencing the problem of blank, explaining why they should blank. Now it has all of the ammo that it needs to create content that actually sounds like a human wrote it, but it turns it into a sales letter. And let's say that you wanted to use that on the listing side. You can say, create an article to an audience of retirees on a fixed income who have recently experienced the problem of a high cost of home repair bill, explaining why now is the best time to list your home in Libertyville. And now you actually have something that turns it into a sales letter.
Love it. Absolutely. So let's do that same. Let's do one more for an agent.
Sure.
So an agent's struggle is not sure how to market to their sphere.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just do this. I'm going to do this on the listing side.
Okay.
So the exact prompt sequence would be, what are 5 problems that would cause somebody to consider listing their home? Now, the more specific that you get, the better. In this case, we're filming this podcast in Libertyville. So I could say, what are 5 problems that would cause somebody to consider listing their home for sale in Libertyville in 2026? Now I have the problems that make the phone ring. I build on it, and I say, give me an audience that's most likely to experience each of the problems that are listed above. Okay. Now, I want to pause here for a second and explain the why that is attached to the how. We as salespeople often fall into the trap of trying to talk to everybody because we think that everybody is our customer. The reality is we could service a lot of people. However, what happens when we try to talk to everybody at the same time? We have a message that resonates with nobody.
Yep.
We basically become the restaurant that has 100 things on the menu and none of them are good. And the only reason why we went there in the first place is because it's midnight and that's the only place that's open. So if we hone in on a target audience who experiences a target problem, it makes us a lot easier to get a good referral.
Yep.
It makes us a lot easier for somebody to refer because we're no longer the generalist, we're the specialist. In this case, you and I met at a networking event and you said, Alan, let's connect. And I gave you my card and I said, just call me if you're looking to buy or sell. You are never going to call me because 100 people have said that exact same message. But if I responded to that and I said, hey, Chris, you know what? I specialize in helping retirees on a fixed income who have recently experienced a major home repair. Does anybody come to mind? The likelihood of you actually coming up with somebody that you think of is way higher. And it moved me out of the commodity category and into the specialist category.
I love it. Yeah, it activates their reticular activator.
It does.
Once you start doing that.
It's everything, for sure.
Absolutely. So if a real estate agent came to you today with zero strategy, what was the first 3 things that you would fix?
First 3 things that I would fix is figure out a target market. Number 2, once we figure out a target market, is we need some sort of publication. And I'm going to talk about the LinkedIn newsletter for a second because this is something that I find 95% of realtors are sleeping on. Here's why I would do this. Everybody posts. Only thought leaders publish. By you having a newsletter, regardless if it's on LinkedIn or if it's freestanding, you are in the thought leader category because you have a publication. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing is it doesn't have to be original. It just has to look original. We can get the ideas from the machine. Again, just ask ChatGPT for some newsletter article ideas and then we'll give it to you. Have it write the framework and then make it your own. Don't just copy and paste. So from there, once we have the long format, now we can dice it up into short form. Now we can dice it up into Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube shorts. And at that point, if we are giving helpful tidbits, we're educating as opposed to selling. So that's the second thing that I would do. And number 3 is something that most people aren't comfortable with, and that is do a speaking engagement because it will forever change your relationship with networking because you can go incrementally and attend a networking event and meet 3 to 5 people, or you can do a workshop and get in front of 30, 50, 70, 100, 150 people, and it's just a way better use of time.
I agree. What's your opinion on personal brand versus a team brand?
Well, at the end of the day, before people buy from a brand, they have a connection with the individual person. This AI stuff is cool, but all it's going to do is it's going to make individualism that much more important. So I'm a big believer of build your personal brand inside of a company.
I like it. What separates top producers that you work with online right now from average ones? What are you noticing the biggest difference?
Mindset. People willing to say it ugly first and just take imperfect action. You know, we sit here and we always wait for the perfect time. And months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years go by, and we tell ourselves, yeah, I'll start eventually. Meanwhile, your competition figured out how to do it fast because they're leveraging some tech and they took action.
Yeah. If someone's listening and wants to go from invisible to influencer in the next 6 months, what would they focus on starting right now?
Build a personal brand and drop some heats. And by the way, if you want literally no strings attached here, but if you want a free 1 hour long workshop of me showing a deeper dive how to do this, just go to dropsomeheat.com and let me know where to send it. So I'm a big believer that there's truly no lack of resources in the world anymore. There's just a lack of resourcefulness.
Yep.
And if you really, really think about it, what a great time to be alive. What a great time to be an entrepreneur and have the ability to accomplish so much by spending so little. Just by getting a free account on one of these AI tools and asking it for a blueprint, asking it for ideas, and then having it create the framework.
Absolutely. Remind everyone one more time where people can connect with you.
Yeah, just go to connectwithalanstern.com. So connect with ALANSTERN. That's the proper way to spell my name. And, connect on social media. Love to have a conversation with you.
Alan, thank you very much. I appreciate
you.
Alan, that was powerful. Marketing today isn't about being flashy. It's about being intentional. Humor, education, adding value, trust, that's a framework anyone can follow. For anyone listening, whether you're in real estate, running a small business, or building a sales career, your visibility matters. But more importantly, your credibility matters most. If you want to learn more about Alan and Persona Marketing Services, we'll include his information in the show notes. I highly recommend checking out his workshops, especially if you want to take control over your marketing instead of outsourcing your voice. And as always, if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or build your real estate career, connect with the Stevens Group. We'll see you on the next episode.